You do a quick
Right.
appointment, yeah.
Okay, Allison is online.
Okay.
Allison, can you hear us?
Let me unmute her. Hi, Allison.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All right, excellent.
Do we want to put her on the screen? Do you want me to plug her in?
I would like to see her. Oh, she is.
She's really just a modified Alexa.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's So is she on the board?
No, she is with municipal code enforcement, so they were previously brought on to assist with enforcement matters. We've shifted their role over to more zoning administration types of duties.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to be working kind of alongside Ben, and I'm going to be taking some of his roles and responsibilities, kind of away from him. He's slowly going to start stepping away from more of the simple project reviews, and I'm going to be taking those over.
So rather
Get
than,
another.
yeah,
So it's a hydraulic scale.
Sure.
So every bucket they weigh it,
Okay.
because they always go down to scoop out and they pick it up to.
good evening, sir.
It shoots out of the heat. And then it puts it
Just
in.
gotta find
you
her
get it down
face.
on the house, then at the end of the day, they rip it off. Yep, 100%. Yeah,
I don't know, 8 inches or so maybe.
Okay, let me see.
I don't know, I don't shovel anyway, so. I don't know.
brush
You
material
don't
or.
see yourself, Allison, but you're over. on the
Breaker,
TV
so
here,
it's breaker,
that-
actually, what's there is going to.
Perfect, thank you.
Berkshire.
No, we are not, but we will be momentarily.
If that starts
Okay,
shooting.
Thanks for calling in.
I don't.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I would like to call the Village of Land and Plan Commission meeting to order for Wednesday, March 18th, 2026 at 6:30 PM. If everyone would rise, remove your headgear for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just a reminder for the new folks here, if you haven't already silenced your phone, please do so. Do we have Mr. Payleitner online or no?
What is that? Steve, are you online? Let me unmute this. I have another person. It's not identified as Steve, but they
Okay,
are not responding, so I'm
Okay.
assuming that's a citizen.
roll call, Batiste.
Here.
Janice is absent, Lake,
Here,
Payleitner is absent. Lavold,
here.
and then Yates is present. Okay. Item 4, statement of public notice.
Has been posted.
Item number 5, discussion possible approval of plan commission meeting minutes from 1/12/26.
I reviewed them, and so I will forward a motion that we accept the plan commission meeting minutes from the January 21st meeting.
I'll second.
January 12th meeting. Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, it says 21st on here.
1/12.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry, on the agenda it says 1/12.
Yeah,
The, yep,
Was it actually the?
it's the 21st, it's just
Okay, well, then
dyslexia.
you do not need to amend them then.
yep, sorry. Just the agenda that's. Sorry about that. Okay, we have a motion and Batiste seconded, I believe. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6. Citizen comments. We have 3 applicants and a citizen. Citizen, do you have any comments?
You're doing a great job.
All right.
The second.
That's the best comment we've gotten this year. Item 7, discussion and possible action on the approval of plan of operation for Lemke Stone, 21575 West Good Hope Road, Landon, Wisconsin, 53046. Good evening, Jason.
Good evening.
How are you?
Living the dream, buddy.
Right? Nightmares are dreams too.
They are. They are. Every Monday morning.
Okay, so you were here before. It looks like we've made some progress on some additional exhibits and whatnot, and we have a draft conditional use permit here.
Right.
Hector, do you want to run us through what you've
Yes.
put together here, sir?
Yes, do you have a copy, sir?
I do not, but
Oh,
I'll take your word for it.
well,
We're good.
it detailed here,
Sorry, Brenda. My office bill.
basically, in the quarry zone, we have no permitted use. So any use that is undertaken there has to be, granted by the village as a conditional use permit. And what I did was I looked at various documents that we had in place and made assumptions that some of the provisions that I've incorporated in here are relevant. For the sake of everyone's understanding, with your permission, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to go through each paragraph because there may be a determination that it's not needed or that additional information is needed. The terms and conditions, this parcel, which has been identified here, has previously been actively quarreled with the stripping and removal of topsoil, sand, gravel, stone, and other natural material. There may have been some crushing and washing thereof, all of which shall not be allowed until another conditional use permit is issued over again for such uses on the parcel, which cannot be sought until all storage of crushed stone materials has ceased and been removed from the parcel. Let me digress. I understood that the applicant had acquired this particular parcel that may have been used for some type of quarrying activity previously, but they are not, Lemke Stone is not currently quarrying that particular parcel. However, there is material that has been collected or is being collected or had been collected of other places on the Lemke quarry. I'm distinguishing that from this parcel, which was assembled and which was collected there for the purpose of being crushed by a customer or client or third-party vendor. And that would occur over a limited period of time. And that time may have passed, I don't know, but I'd like to come back to that. Number 2, no temporary storage of crushed stone material may occur closer than 500 feet to the parcel boundary line of any non-quarrying property. No stored accumulation of crushed stone material shall exceed, and I left blank the height, in height measured on the basis shown on Exhibit B. It's an exhibit that I did not have and has not been prepared. Need to prepare an exhibit which takes into account the different elevations of the parcel. Previously, the applicant came and indicated that at certain points, the pile would not exceed a certain height. However, depending on the depth of the area work, that could be a variable, and I do recommend that there be an exhibit prepared in that regard. Number 3, no water shall be pumped from the parcel onto the property of any adjoining property owner without the express written consent of the adjoining owner. That's an assumption on my part that water interferes with this activity and that there is a desire to get rid of the water. But given that the surrounding other parcels are, with the exception of the Lemke parcel, are not necessarily collection points, that's something that should be taken into consideration.
It all goes to him
It all
now.
goes to the Lemke quarry.
That's not gonna change.
Okay. So I take it, Mr. Lemke, that provision will be a problem or will not be a problem, or will you?
It will not be a problem, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Number 4. In order to screen the parcel from view from adjoining property and public ways and to prevent persons from accidentally wandering onto the parcel area, the existing berm on the south side of the parcel shall be expanded to be a minimum 12 feet tall and shall be planted with grass seed and topsoil and extended to the east and west property lines of the south boundary of the parcel. Again, I don't have any personal knowledge of the topography here, but I do believe that to the south, on the other side of the track, there is a bug line, and I recall from the previous discussion that there was a desire to, I guess, block the view of the quarry activities. Mr. Lemke, do you have any problems with number 4?
I do not, sir.
Thank you. And then number 5, hours of operation shall be exclusively between the hours of 6 a.m. and 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, Saturday, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m., Sunday, no hours, holidays, no hours. Any issues in that regard?
No, sir.
Okay. Number 6, all materials hauled to and from the parcel shall be hauled only by the following route. And I left blank lines there because I really don't know what routes are reasonable or feasible. But I did add no other village roads may be used to haul materials except as expressly authorized in writing by the village president in consultation with the chairman of the village board quarry committee.
Good Hope Road and Town Line.
So, the hauling out process would essentially either be town line through the easement road that runs back to our property, through our quarry, and then out to Good Hope Road, or vice versa. Good Hope Road into our quarry, out on town line,
Right.
where that easement is, right by Artistic Stone, that's where the easement
Yep.
road is, right next to Jerry's place.
Make
Right.
sure you honk when you go by.
Exactly. Land the air horn to make sure he's away. I do it every time I plow.
So it would be, in Town Line. Well, that's county too, isn't it?
That's county,
Yeah.
that's county, but it's just Good Hope by
So
him.
Good Hope is really the only stretch of road that would impact village roads
Okay.
between Town Line and Main Street.
And you're trucking both north and south on Town Line and both east and west on Good Hope?
They would come in, I believe they would be coming in to the east on Good Hope Road, turn into our quarry. And then they would go out onto Town Line Road and head south towards Waukesha.
I think Mr. Batiste, yeah, head south towards Waukesha is where they would be
Yep.
typically heading
Correct.
out of the village.
Essentially the same route as Halquist is running, Land and Stone Products trucks are running, it's the same route. A little bit further to the north.
Yeah.
Okay.
On town,
Pretty simple.
I think that would do well for the Good Hope Road as well, not beat it up any more than it already is, trying to get the trucks out on the Town Line loaded as opposed to coming out on the Good Hope Road.
Number 7, Lemke Stone Incorporated shall maintain a letter of credit for so long as this conditional use permit remains in effect for the benefit of both the village of Lannon in an amount not less than $100,000 to assure that the roads specified in paragraph 6 above are repaired in the event of any damage caused by the hauling allowed under paragraph 6. Said letter of credit shall be in the form reasonably satisfactory to the village attorney and filed with the village clerk. And shall provide that if the village shall declare the operator to be in default under the provisions of this conditional use permit as to road repairs, a letter of credit shall be drawn down on by the village to remedy the default. Now, I have to say that I've not been involved in any situation where the village has attempted to cover damage to the roads as a result of the hauling of heavy materials extracted from the ground. However, and at the time that I drafted this, I did not know the route to be used. So I guess it's up to the plan commission to determine whether a letter of credit is desired. And if the answer is yes, the amount of the letter of credit.
In regards to that, we have a insurance policy with the county, and then I believe it might actually tie into Landon as well. If we ever were to abandon the quarry, that insurance policy would kick in where Landon would take that money, fill in the property that we left abandoned. I believe it's $250,000 or $300,000, which would more than cover the $100,000 that you're already in, because I believe we needed at least 150. We went above and beyond that. Not that I'm ever planning on leaving, but if for some reason something happened, freak accident, whatever, my wife wouldn't have to worry about running a loader and trying to fill it in.
There is a statute that obligates quarries to engage in restoration or reclamation activities so that an abandoned pit is not left behind. However, the focus of this particular paragraph is to have a reserve amount of money someplace so that if there's damage sustained by any road under the jurisdiction of the village, there are resources to fix it. Now, in the past, the condition of the village's roads have been wanting. However, since the installation of the water system, many of the roads and also Good Hope Road is under consideration presently for upgrading and improvement. So we may have different circumstances at hand here than we have had in the immediate past 10 years.
We might, but you know, I think if we think about what kind of damage might be caused by these operations. Now, I know that right now, the proposal is it's basically just crushed stone getting hauled
Yes, sir.
through there.
Yes, sir.
So it's not like you're gonna have big blocks of stone falling off a truck and tearing up the road,
No, sir.
but you might down the road, right? At some point, we can't presume to know that you might not wanna do different activities.
It will not go out that way. Anything that we extract from that property in the future will be brought into our existing quarry. I have no interest in running loaders up and down the road with 10-ton blocks on them. That's not safe. So anything that's extracted from that property for Lemke Stone's benefit will be brought down into our existing quarry.
Yeah.
Not ran on the road, anything like that.
But this conditional use permit at the stage that it's at right now doesn't presume that you're gonna do any quarrying
Correct.
activity.
Correct. I wanna open that up, but.
That'll be later.
Correct.
I wanna get this one nailed down
Correct.
and make sure that we're not putting,
We're-
excessive restrictions on you.
We're not putting any extra stress on the roads that Land and Stone Products, Helquist, or any other quad axle, any other semi is putting on that road going to
Right.
AFW. Gessler's running cars down on flatbeds, Lakeshore Burial Vault coming in with huge Septic tanks.
Yeah.
We're not gonna put any more stress on that road than what anybody else already has.
Yeah.
Is or has.
Yeah, and
I
short,
agree.
and short of having one of his trucks buried axle deep during a weight restriction time of year, you're not gonna be able to prove what damage was done by his particular
Right.
hauling activities versus all of the other
Exactly.
quarries that, you know, run up and down.
And again. We're a stand-up company. If somebody says a rock fell off your truck, I will call you back and say, where was it? What color was the truck? It happens all the time in the trucking industry. A rock fell off your truck. What color is the truck? White. We don't own a white truck. So it couldn't have been us. It was probably somebody that had a dinged windshield from a quad axle, who knows what. And there's times that it is us. So, I mean, I guess you'd have to take me at my word on that.
Yeah, I appreciate what council has attempted to do here in terms of you know,
Taken care of.
garnering some protection for the village, but I mean, I'd be in favor of just striking number 7.
Yep.
As I,
Okay, continuing on, number 8, accepting the comments as, direction to delete paragraph 7 as drafted. Number 8, no blasting shall be allowed on the parcel, and that's already been touched on, that Mr. Lemke understands that the only thing that he is being allowed to do here is to pile up, if you will, or assemble product.
Yes.
Number 9, if any complaint is made about the activity on the parcel, Lemke Stone shall take immediate steps to address such complaints. That goes without further comment. Number 10, the total amount of public liability insurance shall not be less than $1 million. The public liability insurance shall remain in full force and effect for the entire term of its conditional use permit. And again, it's a policy decision to be made by the Plan Commission. Number 1, do you want to require public liability insurance, and if so, in what amount? Also keep in mind that, and I do not mean this disrespectfully, but quarry operators are in competition with one another, and they do watch their operation because they have a mutual interest in operations. And what you do for one quarry operator, you probably will have to do, or will be reminded by another quarry operator that you've done that. So in making the decision, I suggest you take that into consideration.
My assumption is you already have comparable or higher coverage in place.
We do, sir. We have an umbrella policy that would more than cover the $1 million.
And do you probably, since you have customers, public coming down onto the property to your showroom there, you probably already have personal injury liability,
Right.
all that stuff as
The
well.
whole 9 yards.
Pollution liability insurance too, I
Yep.
presume.
Yep.
Okay,
Every month we send out water samples, we send out all that stuff.
Comments made, I'm inferring that paragraph 10 should be deleted.
well, it's okay, Ed, to leave it in here, I think, to make sure that there's, you know, a policy in force or a continuation of coverage.
Do we
But I
have a
don't-
copy of your COI on file?
Also,
Should
Oh,
that be?
Yeah,
We
she might, I don't know if we give that up every year.
yeah.
Yeah,
If not, I will make sure
Yeah.
Brenda gets a copy and forwards it on to all of you.
My question for number 10 would be, it would be fine to leave it in, but maybe check our verbiage as public liability insurance. Maybe we can change that to, you know, comprehensive business insurance policy to be filed, you know, like,
or is that a
is public li-
technical term that you're familiar with, Hector?
Yeah,
public liability insurance is sometimes used to describe business practice coverage.
what I'm getting at is if he proves that he has adequate
Hmm.
insurance covering things such as liability, pollution, and, you know, umbrella. As long as we're not pigeonholing him into then having to get another new policy when maybe what he has is adequate to, protect the interests. That's all. I was just wondering
Okay.
about that specific policy name.
Well, if you're inclined to leave in the paragraph there, 10, I would suggest that, operator, we add another sentence. Operator shall annually
File the COI with the village.
yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's good.
with the village clerk.
And I hate to get caught up in the minutia here, but this public liability, the term public liability insurance is new to me. So, I mean, I'm familiar with like the forms of insurance that I carry as a business. I don't know if there's other ones that I'm missing. So we have personal liability insurance and property insurance. I mean, we have a number of different coverages, but I just don't know if any of them is really called public liability insurance. And that's why I asked if that's a special type of policy that might apply to a business like this, but if it isn't, does it make sense to just strike the word public?
Yeah, just in
Liability insurance. You can do that.
Okay,
And the reason why I say that is that you're gonna be examining the certificate of insurance to
yeah,
see what they have.
Yeah.
I have seen on some certificates of insurance, public liability language,
okay,
meaning that it's distinguishable from, say, workers' comp insurance,
mhm,
and covers third parties that may come onto the property, invitees and so
Right.
forth.
right,
Maybe that's a better way of getting at it is what concerns would you want to have protections in place for? And, okay, yeah, I understand now. Agreed.
I think that's covered under the comprehensive part of our insurance, but I'm also not an insurance guy.
Yeah.
But I know our umbrella is high, just given the fact.
Oh, why don't you just sign?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have, your broker should not be put to task if you ask for that information and deliver it.
Absolutely.
we flatter out about 10 of these a month.
Yeah, it's common.
Yeah. No, absolutely,
Okay.
no concern.
Number 11. This conditional use permit shall not run with the land, but may be transferred to any owner during the unexpired term. If there is a successor owner during the term of this conditional use permit, such owner shall have all rights and responsibilities hereunder. Typically, in Wisconsin, the granting governmental bodies and give a conditional use permit to be personal to the operator. And this language here compromises that and says if there's a sale during the term of this conditional use permit, it can be passed on to the next operator. But then that operator has to come in and make application. Number 12.
During the term of it, right?
The term of this conditional use permit shall be 12 months following the month of the issuance of this permit. On its expiration, the owner of the parcel may submit application, but its renewal shall be at the sole discretion of the village. And again, I was speculating as to how long this was going to be needed for. I had the impression that this was a short-term assembly of material that would be moved off premises, and that would be the end of the project. Please correct me if I have incorrect in that regard.
It will be ongoing. I'm more than happy to come back once a year and see you guys and say, hey, I'd like to re-up this for another year, please. Provided that there's no issues in the first
Yeah.
12 months, I would assume it would be pretty cut and dry with you guys. We didn't have any issues before. I'm gonna make sure there's not any issues again. Should be a easy peasy thing to provide you with a certificate of insurance, plot maps, all that other fun stuff.
Seems reasonable to me. It gives us an opportunity to review operations, bring up any issues that might have occurred during the year, and it also gives you an opportunity to make a request for any operational changes or
Yep.
things to fit your needs, so.
13, I don't know how applicable this might be, but it reads no vehicles entering or leaving the property or operating on the property shall use engine braking.
No Jake breaks.
Going out. Is that considered Lisbon on town line or is that still considered land?
Depends on what side of the road you're on.
So if you're on the east, that's landed, correct?
Yep.
I can't see them using Jake brakes because they're going up a hill. If they were going down a hill,
Don't we already have an ordinance against engine braking in this
Yes.
village?
or,
So it's redundant. Yeah.
It may be redundant,
I'm
however,
okay leaving it in. I live on town line.
this was extracted from other material where I guess it's intended to pointedly remind the operator. And given that the village is slowly transforming itself from predominantly industrial community to a mixed commercial residential community. If the operator doesn't see a problem with this side, I would suggest just leaving it.
Leave it in, tell your drivers not to use Jake brakes.
I will have a sign made up and put it on the exit of it. Entry wise, I don't think there'll be an issue, whichever.
By then, it's too late anyway.
Elk West has got a sign on their entries.
Yeah, so I'm more than happy to pull one up coming out to town line.
And then the last paragraph relates to what is commonly done with most conditional use permits. And that is reading what states here. It's stated, this permit shall be effective only upon its recording with the Waukesha Register of Deeds and the continued satisfaction of all the conditions enumerated above. Most community on a conditional use permit is granted, it is reported because it is the right that the property owner requires.
So I think, in summary then, according to my notes, we have a question about, well, and you did not have any issue with number 4 with providing a berm or of some sort there?
No, sir.
It's one here already.
Yeah, I believe that there's a berm there and then it's
Right.
property sunk down inside there anyway, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is it 12 feet? I don't know, but it will be 12 feet. Be 15 just to make sure.
Right. And the stone materials, no stored accumulation of fresh stone material shall exceed X number of feet in height. I think we talked about this briefly last time, and you had,
I had asked for 40 feet.
right,
Does it hit 40 feet? Right now, it's not at 40 feet.
And I think the question there was, having a topographical map to see if 40 feet exceeds the berm height by 10 feet, or does it exceed the berm height by 40 feet? Now, anecdotally, it does not. I mean, just know what I know from the floodline view of it, but I don't know how far down that road do we want to go. I mean, I'm just gonna express my personal opinion, which is the quarry was there long before any of the adjoining properties, and I think everybody is well aware that in that area, if you see a pile of stone, you best not take offense and clutch your pearls over it. So I don't have a high degree of concern about making a pile of stone there, especially in an ongoing operation, which means it might be 40 feet one day, it might be 10 feet the next, and it might be 50 feet the day after.
Going out.
Exactly. So my personal opinion is that I completely understand the desire to prevent people having issues with it. But anecdotally, I also feel like it's not a major concern to me as a member of this commission, and I would defer to the rest of you to see if you feel like.
I'm good with the requested 40 feet. I feel very much the same way you do.
I do too.
Yeah, I'm okay with the 40 feet also. I guess if we're higher than that, I may have a different opinion,
Right.
but
I have I know this means literally nothing, but the agreement is whatever job they crush for, the stone has to leave within 6 months of them crushing it, because I don't want any issues moving forward. That land is valuable to me for many other reasons other than what they're using it for. So if they're gonna crush a pile that's gonna sit there for 10 years, that's detrimental to what I want to accomplish in the future. They're a good company. I've had zero regrets about the agreement we made. I have the full trust that that pile that's on that property right now will be gone by the end of summer. And when they get the next job, then there'll be another one that will not exceed 40 feet. And again, dropping that property level down, I believe in would be to the west side of that property line. I believe it's 12 feet of fill that's in there where that tree line kind of runs through. I don't know if you're familiar with the bud line. But there's about 12 feet, so if you drop that 12 feet down.
I'll only admit to peeking over once.
But, you know, you're dropping down 12 feet, so you're picking up 28, that berm's gonna be 15 from where that line is. So you're gonna be up 27 feet essentially from where the current, or actually no, it's been excavated, but there is still a level there that has not been extracted.
so are you renting that land to somebody who's stockpiling it?
No.
Or, okay, so they're paying you.
They
to-
they pay me royalties for what they crush. Property is not in use for quarry use yet. My hope is that it will be, and my hope is that next year when I come to you guys, we can open up that can of worms.
Okay.
Can I ask a question about track out?
Absolutely.
Do you have a plan in place for that? Do you have like a street sweeper that you run out? Have you ever had issues with track out in the past? If not, but it's not.
800 feet of driveway before he gets to the road.
So Super Excavating, who's doing the hauling, did the same for Hellquist, right across the street from us. That's got that massive berm that's way taller than 40 feet.
Mhm.
They had a street sweeper out there two times a day. I trust that if I see something, I will definitely call them. They've got a sweeper on, a power sweeper, power broom on site currently. So I have no doubts in my mind that won't be cleaned up.
Okay, so you guys would kind of keep an eye on it. If
Correct.
there's an issue, you'll have somebody come out and take care of it.
100%.
There's a plan commission member next door.
Jerry will let me know, for sure.
Could I ask a question? Did I hear you correctly to say that there is going to be crushing on this parcel?
No, sir.
No, it's gonna be on the other
It's
part
on the
of
other
the land.
parcel.
It is.
In 1 year, when I come back and resubmit this, I'm gonna start the extraction process, not crushing, dimensional extraction like we do at the current.
Which would
quarry.
be blasting then.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Low volume blasting, not like a land and stone products blast,
No.
low volume.
Okay. All right, so we've got 40 feet for number 2. Applicant's good with number 4. We've identified the roadways in number 6. We've agreed to strike 7. Renumbering, the remaining ones, appropriately changing public liability to, just liability insurance.
And
Have
a
I-
request to file a COI with the village.
And and a request to file a COI with the village. Have I covered everything?
Do we add a number 14 that says track out will be addressed as needed?
Or that could be covered under any complaint made about activity would be addressed immediately. I mean, because track out's gonna be one of us calling them going, hey, listen, there's too much
when you come to work, do you come down Good Hope or do you go?
I go north on Town Line and then east on Good Hope.
Don't know.
Yeah,
A new daily duty for you.
yeah.
Give you, I'll drop a card off. If you have an issue, shoot me a text message and be like, getting a little dirty
Even getting a little tour of that parcel. I hate to go on it uninvited.
anytime you want.
Kind of take a look at it. Okay. To address your question, we could add another thing, or should we just keep it underneath, complaints? Under item number,
And does that satisfy your concern?
I think if we note it somewhere, either as number 14 or just list it under complaints. I think that would be appropriate.
Or how about under 7, replacing that?
yeah,
Replace it with or stricken from 7, it doesn't matter to me, wherever you want to put
Yeah.
it.
okay.
That'd be fine.
He's in agreement anyway, so we might as well throw him in.
So then the next question is the commission okay with this getting executed? Pending the changes in my review of said changes.
Yes,
We need to set a public.
It
hearing.
actually has to go to public.
Oh, it's gotta go, that's right, yeah.
That would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we could probably schedule it if you want to do a joint meeting for our village board.
Yeah, that would be good. Yep.
get her done.
Allison, did you have anything to add on this item?
No, not for this one. Thank you very much.
All right, so I will make a motion.
Okay,
To conditionally approve the Village of Land, or the conditional use permit for Lemke Stone. Citing the following changes. Item number 2, the pile shall not exceed 40 feet. Number 6, materials hauled to and from parcel using roads, Good Hope Road and Town Line Road. Number 7, stricken, renumbering 8 through 13. Number 10, which is now number 9, would be the striking public from the liability insurance statement and requesting that an annual current COI be on file with the village. And adding an item, either 14 or 7, as council wishes to include track out, I'm looking for the words, the management of track out from this parcel.
What did you write?
The tracked out pad will be installed and maintained during the term of this conditional use permit.
All right,
that's why you get the big bucks,
that's right,
literally.
Question.
and maintain,
Well,
and
I was just gonna say, in our paving ordinance, there's a requirement that the quarries or industrial properties have a minimum of 200 feet of paving to eliminate the track out. We have some problems with Help West on Good Hope Road and also Lakeshore Quarry don't meet the 200. Driveway, he's gonna be coming out by me, I paved 200 feet in, so it's already taken care of.
so that would be your track out pad.
I mean, Lakeshore Burial
And
Wall,
that's number 7.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're
Yeah,
not,
only
they're
the-
just to the fence, they need to be in.
Just so I'm understanding this before anybody seconds, 40 feet from what? The
Oh,
floor of, just so that I don't wanna. I
Okay, no.
will always push the envelope, but I wanna make sure that I'm within. the limits.
measured on the basis shown in exhibit B, which references an exhibit which does not exist because we do not have an elevation. So can we change the verbiage of that the mound of stone shall not exceed 40 feet from grade?
What is great.
Grade is the location of the pile.
That, I just wanna specify that, and I will get
So-
an engineer out if you'd like me to.
So can we say 40 feet from the base?
Yeah,
Correct, that, I just wanna make sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if
To
the
me-
pile is here, the grade will be at a different height than if the pile is here, but that addresses your request for a topographical analysis of I'm trying to not be too onerous but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, from an enforcement standpoint, and for everyone's benefit, having an exhibit created
Mhm.
protects everyone because it's gonna be close to impossible without having a map and exhibit to determine what grade was before stuff got piled up.
Right, so
No.
it helps me to understand, your tack on this by hypothetically thinking about the situation that could arise, which will cause this to be an issue. So let's say we have somebody over in the Whispering Ridge, you know, back there, and they call up and they say, I can see stone out my window. What you're saying is we have to then go and figure out how tall that pile is, if we allowed for it or not. Okay, I'm understanding a little bit better.
Was this done for Halquist when they put that mound right on Good Hope Road?
No,
I have no idea.
And I'm not trying to throw stones, I'm truly not. But at the end of the day, I wanna make sure that I do this right because I wanna extract stone there, so.
Yeah,
If I start throwing mud at the wall and see what sticks,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm here to do. I just wanna make sure that I don't wanna exhaust financial resources to do something that I know the pile is gonna leave, which is the agreement that I have. Now, should Whispering Ridge, someone in Whispering Ridge come through,
Yep.
or you're driving on Town Line Road to work, you're like, oh my God, that pile is ginormous. And you call and say, hey, I want a free tour now. But all I'm saying is I want it to be clear cut across the board because 40 feet from what?
High
The top of the
fence,
berm of the bug line?
yeah.
Or 40 feet from the grade, or 40 feet from the grade of where we've dug down to. Because in my opinion, it's 40 feet of the grade that we've dug down to, because originally that's what I had said.
yeah, but how does the village know that?
So
Yeah.
how about, to simplify this matter, I think the overriding concern is visibility beyond this berm that we've instructed in number 4 to be constructed. So maybe it should simply, number 2 should simply be a not to exceed amount over the height of the berm in number 4.
That's a possibility. I was assuming that with the county GIS system that we have, that Strand could probably extract enough data to create a base map. And that could be used in evaluating future excavation.
I mean, this is a topographical map
Yeah.
Reading it.
from, well, yeah.
Sorry,
Oh, yeah. No, it's my eyes, not your map.
But, and there's probably elevations marked on here. We just can't.
The scale is
Yeah.
such that, and it's been reduced.
So the only way that this is gonna come to play is if we have a complaint from somebody, and then your 40-foot pile better become 2 20-foot piles.
Correct.
I mean,
It's not gonna- yeah.
I totally get what we're doing here, but at the same time, I don't know that we need to do a survey of this land in order to address this issue. He understands that if we can see those piles and those piles are offensive to anyone, we have the right to request that those piles get moved, get hauled, get put into 2 piles. I mean, how do we achieve that without making him go through another month of waiting and more expense? Yeah.
and I would just like to say that, if you're object to see stone in Lannon, you ought to not be here.
Well,
It's been for over 100 years.
Yeah, I know, I'm
Come on.
100%, but
Give it
what
up.
Hector is doing is exactly what we pay him to do, which is to make sure that we have proper recourse should this become an issue.
I
Which
can
is
see
just why we're
stone in
having the
Lannon.
conversation.
and again,
Over
I
here.
want clarification because I don't want there to be a
Yep.
shade of gray. To Hector's point, I don't want somebody to come in and say, where's your 40 feet from?
So I'm gonna suggest then that that we review a larger version of this Waukesha County GIS map with the 2015 contours on it. It says, now, my guess is there's probably newer ones than that.
That would be my guess. I actually got that from Barb Mork and Hammer. We
Okay,
bought the property from because my office gal wasn't in the office and I needed to submit something that I believe that is accurate to up until probably 2 years ago.
so let's do this then. Let's keep Hector's notion, and I hear that there's an exhibit presented, and the exhibit is going to be the most current Waukesha County GIS contour maps. And that all of this is going to be stored on the eastern half of this property, is that correct,
Pretty much.
Jason?
So the property right now, the file is.
Right there, okay.
So it's all on the eastern half, Jason?
Yes, sir.
Well, I will volunteer to pull that map and mark that pile.
Yeah,
As
so,
an
but,
exhibit.
so where I'm going with this is maybe what we do then is we use as the baseline the highest elevation shown on that eastern half of that property.
And again, I'm not concerned about the 40 feet. I'm really not, because I know they're gonna move it out.
I'm not either, but you bring
Yep,
up a good
yep.
point
I
that
just wanna be.
a baseline should be established.
I was making a motion based on an exhibit that doesn't exist, so that's the thing to clarify. Okay, so to address that then, I'm gonna amend my motion, Brenda, to make note that item number 2 will be 40 feet. And it will reference exhibit B, which village will take responsibility for adding to this conditional use permit, which will be the most current Waukesha County GIS elevation map with the approximate location of the storage pile to be indicated on it. And that 40 feet would be from the base elevation indicated on the Waukesha County GIS map.
Okay, so we have an amended motion. Do we have a second?
I would second.
We have a second. Any other discussion?
Do I need to include a public hearing date in my
Yes,
motion?
please.
Yes, if you would
Oh, he
please,
says, yeah.
yeah, if you would request a scheduling of a public hearing.
Okay, and I will request that the clerk set a public hearing to coincide with the next Village of Lannon village board meeting, which is
April 13th,
April 13th. At what time?
7 p.m.
Okay, 13th at 7 p.m. Thank you.
So we'll just do that at the beginning of the agenda for that, yeah.
Awesome.
Linda, do you second that?
Yes,
Amendment, yeah. Okay, so,
So the whole planning commission needs to be here on the 13th?
No, just for the beginning of the meeting.
yeah, for the joint public hearing, right?
Well,
Actually, it's the village board that issues the permit. I recommend
Okay.
that the quarry committee sit in on a joint basis so that you have input from your committee members.
Okay, well, they're
They'll
all
be here
board
'cause we're
members, so
board
they'll-
members,
yeah.
yeah.
True.
And then the public would be invited for
Right.
the public hearing portion. Okay.
Okay,
So then the plan commission doesn't have to be there, because it's the
Right.
village board public hearing and the village board for public. Okay, never mind, Linda. All right.
Yeah, and I will attempt to prepare a revised draft of this document, send it to the clerk. Asking that she distribute it to all of you on the plan commission. So that if I've missed anything, that you can show up at the public hearing and underscore that fact.
send that to the quarry committee folks too, please,
Okay.
when you get it,
Well, and Jason-
once I
That's a copy.
give it a thumbs up. His office girl will be out again, probably.
I'll stop any good ones.
Thank you.
Okay, motion seconded, amended, motion seconded, again, yeah, on and on and on. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All
Thank you,
right.
gentlemen and ladies.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jason.
Have a good evening. Have a good evening, Jerry.
Okay, item number 8, discussion of possible action on plan of operation and site plan for AR Tamburino Inc. 21833 West Good Hope Road. Landon, Wisconsin, 53046. And I don't see an applicant here unless you're representing them, Mike. No? And given the incomplete nature of the application, guess I would accept a motion to table. I see that you did provide some comments on this one, Allison.
I did, yes, there was limited information for this plan of operation, but I did provide some comments. They're proposing to operate a trucking business on Good Hope Road. There is, you'll notice in my staff comments, the property is zoned L1 light industrial, and the applicant stated that approximately 6 dump trucks would be stored on the property. So under our current ordinance, that would be classified as a contractor yard, which would also require a special use permit. So that was one of the main things that I indicated in my staff report. But I'm happy to answer any questions.
It's an existing trucking company right now, Silver Nickel.
Right, but this is a new application.
So we'd be bringing them into compliance, even though it's existing. It's not operating under a conditional use permit. Correct?
Okay. Well, we can talk about it when they come back with more information, I guess.
Yeah, if I could request, the last time the village went through a special use permit with the HM Brandt matter. Brenda, if I could trouble you to send me the completed HM Brandt special use permit, and that will outline the provisions that we should be covering.
Okay, well, I will make a motion to table agenda item number 8.
Yeah. And the applicant was notified of their. That being agendized. Yeah, okay. We have a motion to table. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 9, discussion and possible action on plan of operation for Scoia'c Chiropractic at 19010 West Main Street, Landon, Wisconsin. We have an application here. We have the applicant here, and we have comments from Allison on this one as well. So, Allison, why don't you, if you want to, you've made a recommendation. So I don't know if you got the full list of all of what we're looking for when we get these applications. There's quite a bit of more information that we typically expect to see with these than.
Yep, I
just-
do have a site map,
Okay,
and I do have like a temporary building plan of what it's currently
okay,
looks like inside,
Okay.
not like actual pictures of it. But of like what the current structure is.
Yep.
There's not gonna be any big major changes to the structure. If anything, within the current structure laid out, there might be rooms that are changed or reorganized to like repurpose them to fit our needs. But there won't be really any additional like major structural changes.
Right.
If anything, it's just putting the building back into code, making sure everything kind of follows the guidelines of what needs to be set out from a permit and all that.
okay,
But I do have those to submit if you guys wanna look at those.
yeah, please. Do you have copies for everyone?
I don't, I just have
The ones
the ones
that,
yeah.
here you go, Allison, can you see that?
Yeah, Allison, do you have any summary of any of your concerns regarding this plan of operation besides the missing amendments?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. In general, I don't have any major concern about the application itself. They're looking to have a chiropractic clinic in this space. It's about approximately 3,500 square feet of previous office space. One of the things that was mentioned in the application is that there is some residential in this building. So my assumption, there wasn't a lot of information on the residential, but my assumption is that the residential is existing and has been existing. But because this property is in the B1 district, the professional office, such as doctor, dentist, chiropractor, those sorts of services are a permitted use. But the code does state that in the B1 district, any residential is a conditional use permit. I don't know if there's a conditional use permit on file. From my reading this application and reviewing the application, it was my thought that the residential use is accessory to the commercial use and has always been in existence. Other than that, there was just some missing information, the site plan that illustrates parking, location of dumpster enclosures, landscaping, and lighting that I was unable to review.
What is your plan for that? Are you gonna just rent it if you close on this?
Are you talking about the residential part?
Yeah.
Yeah, the current plan is to rent it out, so there's a lot of different ways that that could look. We could rent it to anybody, but we also bring in a lot of interns to like for their preceptorship, so there's interns that come in and shadow you for 3-4 months before they graduate. And so that's opportunity that it could be rentable space to them. We also take in families in intensive cases where we can rent the space to them. So they move here for 2 months or so while we're taking care of their kid in an intensive case. So there's a lot of different opportunities for it to use it as business, or it could just be a rentable space to.
So Landon could get a frat house finally.
Finally.
If I may, could I ask the applicant a question about that?
Yeah.
Great. So you mentioned that you would possibly rent it out. So my assumption now is that it's vacant. Is that correct? And do you know how long it's been vacant?
It's vacant right now. I'm not certain how long that house has been vacant, but there's nothing in it, and it looks like it's been that way for a while. I would say for sure since they listed it would be my assumption.
6 months.
Yeah, would be my assumption with that. We went and looked at it back in December, I think initially, maybe December or early January, and it was already vacant at that. I mean, it was vacant at that point too.
It's a separate structure, Allison, and it's always been a rental, so it just
Sure.
was a non-compliant one.
Yeah.
So, prior to the meeting, I know we were chatting a little bit out of school there, but, so you currently just have this under contract, right? You have not purchased this?
Yeah, so currently we have it under contract, but it's all conditional on if we get approval from the village board to operate in the building. It's contingent on if the plans for like what the plans are to get it designed and redesigned, all that kind of stuff. That all has to get finalized first before it gets closed. So the closing date's not until July. Because we wanna just make sure we get all the tape cleaned up, make sure that everybody's on the same page, before we close.
So this is really more of an exploratory exercise tonight, kind of a due diligence thing. Make sure conceptually that we're okay with this idea.
That's exactly correct. Yeah, tonight is like, I can absolutely bring more concrete things to a future meeting. I think the first part was just making sure, is everybody gonna be okay with a chiropractic office operating in that building? Still having a rentable space on that property as well. Just making sure that that was acceptable and that, you'd feel like we bring value to the community. And before we proceed with even designing, what the building could look like or what those things would be. Just wanted to make sure that everybody was on board with that first.
Yeah.
I would just state that, if the ownership of the property is transferring, I would defer to our village attorney as if a conditional use permit is required for that residential use. But I would highly encourage the new owner to apply for a conditional use to come in to full compliance on this property.
I would concur. It may not be appropriate to commit tonight, but given all the possible uses incidental to your practice, unrelated to your practice, you should really define how it's going to be rented out so that the village can consider the issuance of a conditional use permit, which I'd strongly recommend that the village issue, given that this tract of land has a mixed use. And arguably the residential component may be a legal non-conforming component. So in applying for the conditional use permit, I would urge the applicant to submit information from the listing broker as to when the property was last occupied for residential purposes.
Right.
So what would it look like to apply for conditional use permit? What does that look like?
Well, essentially, you would describe exactly what's going to happen.
Okay,
So that we have basically a benchmark, should there be any complaints or any problem there.
And I don't think that conditional use permit gets into lease terms or anything. Meaning that what you should probably do with the conditional use permit is make it as broad as possible and say, I want to use this as a rental property for residential occupancy. And then all of the variants about it might be an intern, it might be the length of your lease, the amount you charge for it, we have nothing to do with that. I would say my intention is to use this as a residential property in a B1 zoning or whatever the zoning is, and therefore I'm applying for a conditional use permit and just keep it, so that anybody can move in there on the terms of lease agreement that you make as the owner. Exactly. And so that way, then we're not getting into the nuance of sometimes it might be a patient and it might be a business use.
Right.
No, it's a residential rental property.
okay,
Terms of which you are free to negotiate.
perfect.
But don't start putting tables and offices and.
Yeah, right.
Right,
Treatment areas in
Yeah.
there.
yeah, that would not be the design for that space, no. And then I would also imagine that all, as the construction starts, all the permits and everything like that will be pulled. Would you want more concrete design plans once they come through of how the interior will look and everything?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
so in general, the Village of Lannon would be supportive of having a chiropractic practice in that building. We would be okay with residential rental of the unit as long as a conditional use is issued. There are sign permits,
These are all of the things that we're looking for.
Yep, the
Perfect, okay,
building permits, which Paul, our building inspector, will help guide you through, so. But yeah, I think on this agenda item, then we should table it. Pending further information, but go away with, you know, the, take away the fact that we would be supportive of your business moving to Lannon, thank you.
Perfect. And so then just get the rest of the information to you, what the building inside is going to look like, conditional use permit.
Sign permits,
Okay, sign permits, so,
if you plan on putting the sign out there, yeah.
okay, so would some of this be that before we close on the building? Like we could still close on the building knowing that we can operate chiropractic office there. That's fine, and then as the building starts to be, before we do any construction, before we do anything like that, make sure that we get all of this checked by you.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be like we're back here next month, but we need to make sure that this is, we can get, I guess the whole point for tonight is we can move forward with purchasing the building. And then as we start to make plans for what that building will look like on the inside, we want to make sure all that gets checked by you. Is that kind of
What you wanna do is a legal use for that zone.
okay?
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
perfect,
So, yeah.
okay.
How
We
does he
can,
accomplish that?
What's that?
How does he accomplish that?
No, it is a legal use.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you said,
It is a legal use.
perfect,
Part of the reason for the requested submission is that the village needs to have in its record details as to what the interior configuration is for public safety purposes in
Yep.
particular, and for references by the building inspector or anyone else who may have questions about what is going on.
that's perfect. So we're getting them the plans built and drawn out right now. So once we get those all detailed and designed, I'll make sure to get back on the agenda to submit those as well as the conditional use permit.
Yeah.
The sprinkling doesn't kick in until 6,000 square feet, I think, right?
Yeah.
well, that
So,
keeps us to 6,000.
No, 3,500 is where they have, looks like.
So if you would also need that conditional use permit and plan of operation before you open for business.
Okay.
So if you wanted to, if you were thinking that you were gonna open for business before you did renovations, you would need to come back and.
Yeah, which I don't think we would do. We wouldn't be operational. Our lease where we're currently at is not done until February of next year. So we have, if the closing is July, our plan was from July to February, all the stuff. Yes, yeah, it was more so, I think, in the contingencies of buying was making sure that it was a legal use. It was okay that the village would, as we open up, there wouldn't be any issues with
We're
that.
just so taken aback by someone planning
Ahead
in
of the
advance
curve,
and
yeah.
having their
Yeah.
group that we're just
Yeah.
amazed, thank you very much.
This is not me, this is my wife.
You're a unicorn.
Yeah,
One thing they'll probably to consider is right now you have well and septic at that property.
Mhm.
And currently we don't have the infrastructure for municipal. But at some point in time that may become available. And when that does, then our ordinance would require you to connect,
okay,
so.
that's okay. I think the other thing too, and I mean, as we look at the whole thing, there was talk of parceling the two pieces out. I don't know if that would be something that we would need to do, but we certainly could do that if we needed to at some point.
What's separate the residential from the commercial?
Yeah, but if it doesn't need to be done, it would be nice not to have it done, but if it ever,
Now, it's gonna get a lot more complicated if you
Yeah.
CSM that
yeah,
into two parcels. Then you're gonna run into setback issues, ingress, egress. Just to name a few.
yeah. You're saying like
Twice the connection.
here or down the line, like right now or down, no matter when.
Either way.
No, I'm saying if you tried to split it,
Okay,
saying. My recommendation is the piece of path
Leave it the way it is.
of least resistance is leaving it the way it is.
That would just get conditional use on the residential. Okay, well then I will make a motion to table agenda item number 9 until future time.
Motion to table number 9, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Gotta be quick to beat. All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries the table.
Good luck.
Awesome, thank you
Yeah.
so much, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, you'll be hearing from us soon. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Item number 10, discussion and possible action on plan of operation and site plan for MB Chicken and Fish Co. LLC. It's 7300 North Landon Road, Plan, Wisconsin,
Wednesday.
53046. So we have another application for plan of operation to basically, at this point in time, as I understand it from the applicant, to continue operations of Mibs and Bibs restaurant across the street. This is also, I believe, kind of a conditional request.
We've entered into an agreement to purchase. With earnest money, we're closing. As what we're trying to do is get our approvals today. So that we would close on one day, open the next day as it is today, just under new ownership. Same onboarding of all the employees. Mike and Gina would be able to sleep in one day. So that's our goal today. There are opportunities for changes and expansion and things like that. We would come back for your blessing to do that. The building isn't it's older than most of us in this. No, I think all of us in this room. So we know we have structural engineers ready to go and a contractor to come in and help us with any changes that we might want to do. We know that it's probably not conforming today. So I know that the the refuse is all out. There's no gate around it, things like that. We have to come in. It doesn't have air conditioning, so we need to put air conditioning in. So we kind of need to come back with a better plan for you. But today the idea is to get it across the finish line so that we can, close one day as the Monticelli's own it, and the next day we would own it. So that's what our goal is today.
And you're open every day.
Yeah, that's the goal. Yes, we've actually, as part of this acquisition, we've acquired all the recipes for the fish, the chicken, even the drinks, as well as the name. So I'm really excited about what is across the street here. It's the first restaurant you go into, probably the only restaurant in Waukesha County that you go into, and there's not a cell phone out. It's just people interacting with people. It is a neighborhood bar and restaurant, and that's what we'd like to keep it. So we want to expand the days, and would love the capability of expanding the days. We want to be good neighbors, and then overall, we're going to have to go through a pretty good inspection from the health department anytime there's an acquisition. So we think there's going to be some changes needed in the kitchen, so we'll have to come back with some changes there. I think there's going to be some hood changes and some other things. So with that, it would allow us to make some changes in the kitchen with a grill and things like that. So that's it.
So I had mentioned in some communications to you about like a floor plan of the existing structure and things like that as part of this. Did you pull that together?
I did not. I could put that together if you need it. We're not changing anything existing today. Given the structure, we want to bring in the first floor probably remain the same. We might, we're going to do some, different changes over time. The question is upstairs. Can we expand into the upstairs? Today it's vacant. It's pretty crazy amazing. But we need to know structurally if we could put people up there and what those requirements would be. So those are the exploring long term. But again, our goal today is to from a customer base, to keep the customer base happy that it shuts down one day and opens the next day as with new owners, and to keep the employees employed, and then expand those employees with the hours. So that's our goal today.
Yeah.
What are your plans with regards to the liquor license?
We've also put the liquor license in for the full board on the 13th, right? So we've entered it as well.
And when do you plan to close?
if we get approved, probably the 14th.
Okay.
Wait, yes, the 14th. We would close the next day. I mean, they're ready to go. We're all ready to go on our end. This is, I guess, poor planning on my end, as well as just, we got some attorneys involved. Sorry, counselor, but we got some attorneys involved.
So
Took a little longer, it took a little longer on our end to get it. We wanted to do this a long time ago, but, yeah, so here we are. So,
Right.
yeah. So that has been, put forth.
Allison, your comments are, plan of operation is suitable. Pending any modifications, I see that we are going to have a, floor plan.
Yes.
Anything else, Patrick, that he would need in order to have a completed plan of operation for file?
All of
There
this,
it is, you got your list?
you got a copy for him too. These are some of the most, tonight we hit the jackpot, some of the most woefully completed applications I've seen. Yeah, but I mean, a lot of his stuff's gonna be staying the same, but I think maybe what's hard to appreciate is that being that that's a 100-year-old business, we didn't have plan of operations back then. We don't have a file on this business, right? So
Yeah, we
this is us building that file, right? So we're wanting to collect all the different pieces and parts, and I understand you may be making some changes in there, so we're not asking you to have architects and engineers and go through a bunch of money and expense to detail all this stuff. That's why I suggest just contractor measurements,
Yeah, we can do
go
that.
in, sketch it out to scale, put in some measurements so that we know the floor plan. And that we have a good, solid understanding of what's going on in there. I don't know that until such time that you bring the second floor into operations, if it ever happens.
Yeah.
I don't know that we need to know any specifics about that necessarily. That's a separate unit, if you will, as far as I consider it.
Should they draw it just listed as storage?
Might not hurt. Is it just wide open up there? I've never even.
No, there's 9 rooms upstairs. It was.
That's where they lived.
But there's no heat.
Always lived.
Yeah, they live there. Some, as long as 5 years ago, right? 7 years ago?
Oh,
Somebody was
more
living
than
there.
that.
Was it more than that? I thought he said, well, anyway.
I've heard stories of Slip sleeping up there before back in the day.
Or maybe passed out.
That's what I meant. to say.
Okay, that's factual.
Yeah, we might, boy.
Well, would you,
Feelings on that?
would you accept a conditional approval and then a 60-day to get the fencing around the refuse
Dumpster.
containers?
Dumpster.
And a completed plan of operation, and then I would have to delegate we would have to delegate to you, President Yates, or do we have to have another meeting?
To chase this guy down?
Well, that's the thing.
No, I mean, I think,
We could require him to stay in the upstairs until the approval is received.
I might have to. My wife might make me stay up there. I'm just kidding. Part of it's heated. Half of it is.
yeah, I mean, again, I don't know that we need to be obstructionist in nature here. I mean, we know what's going on there, what's been going on there, and what is planned to go on there, at least in the immediate short term.
One of the problems we have, Mr. McDonald, is that we say we will conditionally approve this, and then all of us go on about our merry way, and then Brenda still does not have a complete plan of operation, and when we need to go back to it, we need to have that.
So the good news is the architect, designer, contractor is my brother, so we could get this before the meeting. Like I could have this in 48 hours. I could have this by Friday. He does this in his sleep, so I could add to that. Is that, you're just looking for so we're in there tomorrow with some other folks doing some measurement and stuff, so we get the measurements and I could get this drawn out. So this could be done, completed. My apologies. I also was on the planning commission for Lisbon and Richfield, so I know better, so I'll get it to you.
Yeah. I don't know how you
I was
guys
a commissioner.
did things up there.
Yeah, I tell you, Washington County's different. No, I'm just kidding.
You guys were
I
hillbilly.
would be happy to assist with the follow-up as well. With this being a transfer of ownership and not much changing on the property, I do agree we should have a complete file. We should have those in the file so that we can see everything. But if the Village Plan Commission decides to move forward with a conditional approval, I would be happy to help complete the follow-up and work directly with the applicant to take some burden off of Brenda, ensure that all of the items are received.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Love it. All right, well,
Yes,
that's
that's awesome. And I know where he lives.
All right, well, I will make a motion to conditionally approve the plan of operation for MV Chicken and Fish Company LLC located at 7300 North Lannon Road, contingent upon applicant completing the full application, including a dimensioned floor plan. And the acknowledgement that the screening of the refuse containers need to be completed within 60 days of this approval, which would put us at May 18th, 2026.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. You're almost home. Any other discussion?
I'm just curious, what's the origin of the name of your LLC?
Well, so we are gonna keep it Mibs and Vivs.
Mhm.
So NP Chicken and Fish. It was important to the family that we kind of continue it, so we wanted to make sure. The holding company is actually Davis Hotel Holdings. So we're trying to keep the history here. I think it's a really great property and a great opportunity, and so it's gonna be, that's what we wanted everybody to know. Like, we're not trying to be the hipsters coming in and we're gonna do axe throwing upstairs or anything like that. So, like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
No,
So it's really to keep it.
Look, throwing is outside.
Yeah. Any other discussion?
Village Hall.
I would say if you could maybe put some signage up about parking being available here at Village Hall. I think that's kind of always been, historically probably a hardship, that people always trying to find places to park up and down Lannon Road.
Yeah.
And maybe people do that just because it's a shorter walk than having to park back here and walk across. But I think anything we can do to encourage patrons to park back here and walk
Yeah.
over.
No, we'll be good neighbors. Understood.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm looking,
What's that?
I'm interested to see how it goes, and I'm happy for you, and I'm happy for Mike and Gina,
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
I think it's an exciting time for a lot of folks, so.
And then I don't have to remember what days they're open.
Well, it does get easier, doesn't it?
It's a little easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll leave a
So,
light on for you. No.
given that, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Get her closed, get her done, and just start working on some of those other things, work with Allison.
Nope, we'll get it done right away. Yeah, no problem.
So
I mean,
April 14th, you're closing.
That's well, we will close as soon as we get the liquor license. Obviously, we can't operate without any of those things, so they're gonna take it from there and then until then, and then I think they're ready to retire, so.
I have one other question now that we've finished with that item. I have some drink tokens from there. Are you gonna honor those?
Yes, we'll just charge you for parking. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just-
Park over.
Yeah, I know. No, absolutely. No, yeah, we're purchasing the menu, like I said, the recipes, all that stuff, all those things will be the same, so, yeah.
Great. Otherwise, I'll go use them tonight after.
Welcome to Landon.
Thank you, good to be here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
100% neighbors, Lisbon. I've been here before, my 16 and 18-year-old love to make your police work, so. Very good job on their way to school, in Menominee Falls to Chesterton Academy, so I feel already a member of this great area. Yeah, they're very.
Supporting.
I don't know about that, but my insurance agent loves Lannon as well, so thank you so much. We'll see you in the 14th.
All right.
Good night.
And now you'll be checked.
Good night, Rob. Item number 11, discussion of possible action on outstanding open items. I think the big one of note is AFW. Enclosed in the packet is a communication that was sent from Trace Hummel from Hector's office to the new owners. To my knowledge, or at least the last time I spoke with Trace, he had not gotten a reply. Perhaps Hector can provide an update to that.
I spoke today with Trace, and we've not heard from anyone. My suggestion would be that they've identified a plant manager or a foreman. I don't have the document there. My suggestion would be that someone just visit the premise and track the individual down. Take along another copy of this letter and ask what's up, because the village is on the verge of commencing an enforcement action, given the discussion that has been had previously.
And the enforcement action would be,
We don't know exactly what the scope of it would be, but the letter was sent to an attorney who did contact our office, Attorney DeYoung, and he was puzzled when he spoke to Trace. He indicated that he had not had any contact with this client in quite some time, and was puzzled as to why he was being copied on correspondence in that regard. And the response that we gave was that that was the information that we had to work with.
all right,
Okay, so
I'll do it.
this is the DeJong Law Office LLC in Milwaukee. They're here in Milwaukee. Okay.
Yes,
Jose Huertas, senior. I presume that's the plant manager.
yes.
Okay.
And that information for the
was
plant manager
certified.
was in the application that we
Because-
received. I believe there was a telephone number there.
Because they did bring in a revised plan of operation to Brenda recently, right? Within the last 2 months?
They basically brought to us just a new form.
Yeah. But with the new owner's name on it?
Yeah,
Okay,
but that's it, and that's
Yeah, no.
unsatisfactory.
yeah. So we have an incomplete plan of operation.
Correct.
Allison, are you up to speed on this situation yet?
I'm not. I haven't had a whole lot of correspondence with Ben on this situation. I just knew that they submitted a new form. Essentially, it's still very incomplete. But I didn't know what the next steps would be in regard to that.
We'd like you to go shut them down.
Pull out our invisible hammer and. Yeah, so I'll just give you the short version or Cliff Note version of this. We've had some ongoing issues over there. The previous owners had subleased part of the property off to a number of different tenants for various uses. None of that was contained in their original plan of operation. We had subsequent tenants that were looking to have things done or be permitted or approved on that property. That the planning commission was not inclined to approve because they technically could not provide a complete plan of operation since there was no overriding master application, if you will, that
Right.
identified identified them as a lessee or subordinate to their plan of operation, so. We have very few instances of this in the village, but there are a few cases where people want to use sites as contractor storage yards, basically. Which, as I'm sure in your other communications, the translation is junkyard. And this one literally is, because one of the tenants over there, puts construction demolition material there. But our goal is to create a scenario where the property owner has a plan of operation that includes any lessee areas or pieces of the property identified specifically, what's going to be allowed there, what isn't going to be allowed there, what types of uses there might be, and then that lessee could then come in with a plan of operation of their own, which is subordinate to theirs and follows and fits within the guidelines of their plan of operation. So
Sure.
that's what we're trying to accomplish. They basically just gave us the new form and said, here you go. But there's been a lot of changes over there.
Sure. And Hector has essentially sent them a notice advising them of what they need to do, and they're ignoring it.
Well, the initial letter requested submission of an updated plan of operation. They filled out the information that identifies the new owner, which is a Chinese company, and a foreman, and attached basically photocopies of what was in the file. In other words, the supplemental materials did not update the circumstances there. From one of the tenants, we've learned that there are some leases in place. And I believe that one of the tenants operating under different legal entities, LLC of different names, maybe a corporation, they've taken over various areas of the property. And at one time, before either the Plan Commission or the village board, one of the tenants made a reference to a desire on their part to acquire that property. On the other hand, I have heard from Mr. Jerry Newman that, to his knowledge, the facility, the foundry, has resumed operation. And so there is uncertainty as to what the heck is going on there.
Okay.
So there you go. That's what's going on over there. Just so you're in the loop.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to assist.
Yeah.
We'll attempt to copy you on anything that goes out. And in the meantime, if I could impose on Brenda to send you a copy of what we've already sent out if you haven't seen those letters, because I think they will come in handy.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Anybody have any other properties, items that want to circle back to?
I'd kind of like to see if we could, update our plan of operation to include email addresses. We have fax numbers on here, but we don't have email addresses, and I find every time I work on one of these, I'm looking for one, so I
Me
just
too.
said, I set myself a reminder to do that GIS map for Jason, and then I copied you and I said, maybe we can add that to that, so.
Yeah, I was communicating with Brenda earlier tonight as well about updating the forms and especially the PDF, because I think what people do is they click on the one link and they download the 3-page form and they never click on the other link right next to it, which outlines all of the,
Stuff that has to happen, yeah.
yeah, all the supporting documents and stuff that we're asking for.
Maybe we should just include it all in one, like.
One PDF
Like.
with everything in
Like
it.
the W-9 has
And-
3
and the-
pages. you know,
And the
like-
sign permit application right in there, it's like, put all of it in there
Okay,
and have,
I would agree with that.
have one document. So it's all in one place, so nobody has the excuse of, oh, well, I didn't know that, or I didn't get that, or, no.
Yeah, Allison too, if you have any of those, requests to our paperwork, we'll do some, updating on that.
Yeah,
I-
absolutely. That's great. I agree. I think it would be nice to have everything all in one. And I'm definitely still learning and navigating, this process as well. So anything we can do to improve, I'm happy to do.
My suggestion would be that since you are looking at these materials with a fresh set of eyes and have a very good understanding of what kind of information is necessary, that you consider juggling and rearranging the requested information, because at times when I get my packet, I read through the submission and I'm thinking to myself, what's the point of this? Whereas other information that's relevant is not sought. And it's because I think our form is probably 15, 20 years old. And perhaps maybe there might be another client that you work with that might have a more updated form. And I'll be happy to assist in reacting to any forms, because I think also the goal that I would have in going through this exercise would be to save time for Brenda in instructing people on what they need
Yeah,
to
going
do,
back and forth
because
with that.
this is the first time they're doing it. And Brenda's caught in the middle. If insufficient information is submitted, it's a rejection, and again, more work for Brenda.
I think it would be helpful too, if there was a narrative section where you could see what they actually wanna do or what,
Yeah.
and add that additional information. So it's easier when you're reviewing your packet, you know what's coming.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Like the
Definitely.
overview of what they're trying to accomplish,
Right.
which sometimes is not always clear.
Right.
No.
Yeah, I think to Hector's point, and I'm just gonna say this again in a different way in case this either wasn't the message he was trying to convey or it wasn't understood that way. You have a fresh set of eyes and then that gives us a rare opportunity to kind of re-envision this whole process.
Yeah.
Right, clean some things up into some, streamline some things, clean up some language and maybe some descriptions and things of that nature, so. Please don't be bashful in your recommendations, of that nature.
Okay, good. Will do.
All right, and then the only last thing that I'm looking for my agenda here is, Brenda, are you gonna reach back out then to the Tamburino?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just felt like I left that hanging there, like we tabled it.
No, I
but-
know, yeah.
But,
Yep.
yeah,
He was like, oh, I'm just doing the same thing, and he was actually working with Sobernagle, and then he was going to purchase it, and then, it was going back and forth, and I was like, well, okay, this is when the meeting is, and whatever, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'll reach back out to him.
okay.
And I have a question too, because
Yep.
if this AFW isn't compliant by no later than March 31st, just coming up,
Mhm.
then we're gonna start finding them.
That's what we had put in the letter, right?
Have they responded?
No,
No, not yet.
Allison, have you heard anything from, you're talking about HM Brandt?
no,
No.
AFW.
Yeah.
Oh, the AFW,
Because
yeah.
this is the letter, it says no later than March 31st, Brenda needs to hear from them.
But HM Brand's on my list. I know Lake Shore was going to, in the spring when the weather broke, they were gonna pave, their entry. Grant was gonna,
Yeah, I still have all of them on the list. I just didn't include them on here because I know we were waiting for
Right.
next steps.
yeah. Do me a favor and just keep those on there though,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
because otherwise they slip
Yeah.
out of sight, out of mind. So,
So after the 31st, what happened?
so we notified them via certified mail. So I believe we could start imposing, fines.
And
We
who
would
does
have
that?
to issue a
Issue a
citation,
citation.
yeah, or a long warrant complaint.
Yeah, because it says if they don't, they could end up in jail. County jail, Waukesha.
So let's send Allison this letter
Yeah,
that that they sent, and then she can follow up prior to the end of the month, and then she can be our hammer if they kick her out. They wouldn't shut the door on you, would they, Allison?
No, never.
No habla.
Do you have any other outstanding issues you wanted to address, Dan?
Not that's top of my mind.
No? Okay. Well, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn if someone's so inclined.
I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting. And Linda will
And
second.
Linda seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, we're adjourned.
Thank you, Allison.
Thank
you.
you,
Yep.
everyone. Have a great
Joining
night.
us.
Yeah, this meeting will be available online if you ever need to review anything.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, have a good night.
You too.
Bye.